groups to take on. Do you see that as an opportunity? What could be, from your lens, what could be the bottlenecks or challenges that you oversee? And in general, how do you feel that as a group, these different participants from this representatives from this group can actually contribute to the betterment of this? So over to you, Asim.
Thank you. Basically, the thing is corporate power purchase agreement. I think it's very simple that someone who has a possibility to generate some power, they want to generate power and give it to the grid so that we are able to become carbon neutral going forward. That's the total summary. Where are we at? So private sector like us, we have taken a goal that Bangladesh is a small country. We are not going to even waste 1 square millimeter of this country where we can use whatever we can use. We have to use everything, right? Like say now, the only issue is how the government is going to look at it, and then how the brands can take advantage of it, and how we can go forward, and what are the financing and other things. So we have had discussion with the government. Advisor sir, as soon as he became an advisor, we went and saw him. We have this possibility to generate more power. Can you give us, opportunity to give us the power to our brands, so the brands are able to become carbon neutral? The answer from him was very logical. Look at the grid. If the grid can take it, we'll do wheeling. And after we do wheeling, you pay the wheeling charges, and the brands are able to utilize it. Now, I'm of the opinion that this is the only way it can be done. Like say, otherwise, places like in Australia, you are not going to have all these solar power plants generating the power like brands like H&M might require. So what has to happen is, in places where we have got the possibility to generate more power, we have to bring the power to the grid, and we are able to take advantage of it and go forward. So we at RFL, we are working with whatever surplus space that we have, depending on southern part of Bangladesh to northern part of Bangladesh, northeastern part of Bangladesh. We are looking at it. Wherever we have whatever, we are trying to bring it to the grid. I really like that food security was discussed in the morning, so we are really trying hard to look at food security, and in that there we are trying to use a water solar, like so that we'll have aquaculture, and we'll also have solar at the same time. My next goal will be to go and see in southern part of Bangladesh. I feel the country has the resource, and whatever resource that we have, we're going to make the best use of it. Do I have all the solutions in day zero or not? Probably not, but do I feel strongly about creating what Bangladesh needs to create? I feel absolutely certain that this is the way it can be done, and it will be done, and we'll get it going. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. That was really, really very direct and very helpful. We really want answers like this. So thank you very much. I'll now move to the representative that we have from the USAID Batch project. As I mentioned during in my short remarks, we did start initiating this idea of CPPA and how this might be useful for Bangladesh. We started to work on it 2 years back, and we'll now hear from Saida. Saida, if you could briefly mention about your experience working with the USAID Batch project and how your project has been supporting this in Bangladesh, and where do you see that the stakeholders need support? In other words, how you feel that donors like us, we have the Swedish representative here as well. There are many like-minded donor agencies who are really looking forward to supporting this endeavor. Probably they're watching from a distance, but at the same time, when we have a couple of pilots that will be operational, I'm sure that there will be many other donors who will jump in. So you would very much like to hear about your experience with the project. Thanks.
Thank you, Shannon, for giving me the floor. So, from the USAID Batch project, we have been working in the CPP advisory space since mid of 2022. So back then, we actually started our partnership with H&M to collaborate on identifying suitable solutions to decarbonize their supply chain in the ready-made garment industries. And so after that partnership, we have worked extensively together to find out different corporate procurement practices all over the world and which might be suitable for Bangladesh in our context. So we have looked at different accent policies, existing accent policies, and we found that one policy guideline is very much conducive to implementing CPPA in Bangladesh. So after that discovery, actually we started talking to the Power Division and related stakeholders in the energy sector, like BPDPs, RADA, PGCB, and Power Division. So we tried to introduce the concept to make them understand why this is very important for the ready-made garment industries and all other sectors, corporate buyers from other sectors who have this kind of decarbonization target. And we have explained to them how other countries are working in this manner, what are the different CPPA models available out there, and what might be suitable for Bangladesh. So, and also at the same time, we talk to different stakeholders, like the corporate off-takers, different power producers, financiers and guarantors, including the Swedish government, the Netherlands government, and many more, World Bank and ADB as well. So we have seen that they understand this concept, the need, the urgency of this sector, and they're interested to actually support all this. So finally, Power Division and we from USFBAS jointly organized a stakeholder consultation workshop to identify what were the challenges to introduce this framework in Bangladesh and what can be the possible solutions. And after that, there was a subsequent meeting at Power Division with a few of our partners from the corporate buyers and power producers, and government has agreed that they will accept expression of interest to implement CPPA projects under the CPPA framework, and then work together to finalize this. So I'm very positive that this interim government, given their target and goal, they will support it full-fledged, and we'll move forward with the discussion with the government.
Great, thank you, Saida. We will summarize a couple of points. So we were not asking follow-up questions right now, but we will do that afterwards if we have time. So my next question will be to Zia Bhai from H&M. As many of you are aware, we actually have a memorandum of understanding with H&M. They are also one of the entities who really is trying hard to push the agenda, and we are grateful that we have this opportunity to work with you and the team. So as we all know, H&M globally has got big commitments in terms of sustainability standards and targets. And we also heard from you, from your 10-minute keynote speech. But for the panel discussion, can you elaborate a little bit more as to how brands like yours can actually create a positive impact by utilizing the CPPA framework? And the earlier panel, we also heard about the facts, the figures that 84% of our export is coming from one single sector. And if that is the case, as a renowned brand, H&M, what is your vision in terms of utilizing this CPPA? Do you really feel that this will make a difference in achieving your targets and create a positive impact in the sector? Thanks.
Thank you for us. Is it okay? All right. I think it's a good question. First of all, we've been in the market for a very long time. I think we hear it again. A very long time. We're deeply rooted here. And one thing that we do very cautiously is create partnership. Because if I do shop around, it doesn't solve the problem. We can't do anything. So it's a bigger problem that nobody can solve alone. You need to have a collective cooperation and engagement from every different one in your ecosystem. We are not only the one in the ecosystem. We are part of that as well. Okay, now how are we going to do this? This last 10 years, the way the business developed in Bangladesh, trust me, next 2 years will not be the same. It is a different world. And I think adaptation is quite important here. So last 10 years or last 40 years, the role that H&M has, we will have a different role, and that's why this corporate power purchase agreement, we thought that we are the one who should be the first one coming, because I don't think we go into any of our garments factory but we asked about energy before. We didn't do that, it was not required. So the role of earlier and role of next is very different. And the role that we are taking here, as you said, that we create partnership, that's our base. And we want to create this framework together and we want to be part of it. And I'm here to say that we are very, very interested to take the undertaking role also. The undertaking of this when somebody produces electricity and our suppliers are going to use it. How are we going to make these two different industries to speak together, because the language initially two different industries are very, very different. So we can play a role over there. We can play a role of the payment guarantee even, because we said that we really see that how can we do that. So we are looking into that very actively. And then potentially as an investor as well. But then I just cannot say we will invest. We need to understand the laws, the regulations. But what I'm saying here that H&M will not play the role that last 40 years that we placed it. We just place it, okay, give me this t-shirt. We will not do that. Because we know we have a different ball game now. With this, all the European due diligence law, all this ESPR that coming up, we can't. We are just a part of the ecosystem, and we need to activate every one of this ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you, Zia. Those are very important points, and definitely we will catch up on those. Finally, my next question will be to Fredrika from the Swedish government. Again, as the early adopters of this concept, your government has been very much supportive of, in general, sustainability and greening the economy in countries that you operate, including Bangladesh. And our batch project has also interacted with you and your team on this CPPA specifically. So my question to you is, as a government of Sweden, how do you feel that your interaction and priorities can add value to the whole ecosystem? As Zia was also mentioning, how collectively we can play together, and how do you feel that governments, like you can provide example from your government, but like-minded governments can also play a role and create a positive impact in this whole ecosystem. Thank you.
So, for us, of course, corporate power purchasing agreements are important for the reasons that have already been mentioned. That the RMG sector is one of our a key part of the bilateral relationship that we have in Bangladesh, and a driver of economic change, of economic growth in the country. And we, of course, have a large presence of global brands such as H&M, the Lindex, IKEA, and we see that the private sector is a major driver of change to reach sustainability goals that we share as a government. So to keep the sector attractive, we need to make changes towards a green transition. And for us, as a government, we have joined hands together with the private sector to drive different initiatives and joint policy dialogues. Together with the Swedish brands, we had a policy dialogue in May around corporate power purchasing agreements, where we try to identify challenges and opportunities to drive the decarbonization of the value chains. So we see that our government had an important role to push for sustainable policy changes, which can make it easier to launch corporate power purchasing agreements in Bangladesh. But what was also identified was the financial incentives that is required in order to do corporate power purchasing agreements on a larger scale. And here we are exploring opportunities to use the financial instruments that we have, for example, a credit guarantee facility, and how this can support in de-risking a pilot project that can later be scaled up once adopted and more accepted in policy. So this we are exploring currently.
as well as broader use of green financing mechanisms, which can support decarbonization in general among suppliers. For example, we are looking into pursuing opportunities in a challenge fund, where we would partially finance investments in green technologies, could be green, renewable energy, but also energy efficiency. And lastly, we are identifying how we can finance a study to cover knowledge gaps and support exploration of global best practices, which can also improve the acceleration of to adopt corporate power purchasing agreements. So yeah, we believe that it is of essential value and that it is very urgent. I read just that yesterday there was a study published by the International Energy Agency that the investments in renewable energy is greater than ever, but that Bangladesh is still lagging behind immensely. So I think it's really important that we have this panel and this discussion today, and that we do this jointly.
To get permission, to make a comment. I feel that we are business people in Bangladesh, right? Like say, so I was trying to see from the morning who are the people who are here, right? So there are two group of people. I see brands here. So the brand should have one goal, that we need to be sustainable, and whatever sustainability challenges that is there, bring it to the private sector, right? And everything is possible. Like so that I have been working and running after Ziabai for the last maybe 3-4 years. And the goal is that whatever GMI says in terms of sustainability, GMI means H&M, if you've not figured that out. I feel that whatever needs to be done, we as a producer in Bangladesh, we must have the mindset to get it going, right? And I was so happy to see comments from Bangladesh Bank here, like so that the funding that government of Bangladesh have for all our rooftop solar coming from funding from Bangladesh Bank. So I feel that, we as the producer, we as the manufacturer, I think it's a mindset change, and I feel the people who are here, like so many of you spend a lot of time on the agenda of sustainability. If you are able to convince your boards that the only way to survive and take the industry forward, if you are able to be more sustainable. In terms of financing, I think financing is something that the world would have to provide. We all understand the sustainability funding cannot only come from Bangladesh because it is not a Bangladesh challenge that we are addressing, it is a global challenge that we are addressing. So the mindset from corporate leaders like us should be whatever sustainability agendas, target, goal, challenge that we have, we must overcome it. From the brand, keep talking, keep engaging, never give up, give the targets to us, it'll be done. Like so that H&M and us, we have started for our business, we've started a water-based PU. Again, the drive was sustainable. H&M could not start producing bag in Bangladesh because Bangladesh could not produce them sustainable raw material. So we told H&M that whatever needs to be done has to be done. So, so I feel that if the mindset is like this, I think we have been able to get a lot of ideas in terms of finance. I think everything can be achieved and we can take the things forward.
How about the summary? How much time do we have? 2 minutes? All right, great. So, thank you, Hasan bhai, for that really good summary. From the panel discussion, we have heard really important things, and I just want to summarize a couple of them. We did hear about the importance of looking into this concept in a holistic fashion, including not only just the partners from different representations, but also sector. Like we have heard about how this can move the needle more effectively if we think about doing it in a nexus way, like keeping your ag productivities, water, energy, all these things together. Maybe do not look into one siloed approach, but if we think about doing it in a holistic fashion, maybe there will be more manufacturers. We don't have to limit ourselves to manufacturers also. If we have agriculture